Thank you, Michael Macenis. I'm having a crazy day. I'm trying to get my schedule under control. It is not going well. I just filmed my Beetlejuice spoiler review, which will go up tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll do some Wicked coverage. I just saw all the Rotten Tomatoes that Joker 2 got hit with. I don't know when I'm going to be seeing that movie. I still think that it's a disaster to air these movies so early in advance. Beetlejuice had a problem with that. Now Joker 2, and I wonder how long they're going to let this clearly bad Rotten Tomatoes score sit there before they get other critics in there. If you know, and also once there's blood in the water, it's hard to come back. But anyway, it's so good to see everybody. It's the first live stream of the week. Let me do my, I always like to gift 5 memberships at the beginning of every week because you guys are so generous. Hold on, here we go. Ta-da! All right. And I'm just getting back up to speed. I appreciate, you know, it makes me feel so nice and also tremendously guilty that everybody missed this movie math on Sunday. I'm so sorry. You know, it was so slow over the weekend. I'll tell you why I didn't do movie math on Sunday. Thank you, Aralysis, and then we'll get to the live stream, okay? I didn't do movie math because there are no big movies that came out, okay? I was gonna do a spotlight on the summer box office. I'll do that next week, okay? But it was a holiday weekend, and you know, I really just wanted, and also I posted a couple of videos going into the weekend, and they were not performing where they should. So I was like, you know, sometimes, thank you, Dancing Dog 60. Sometimes as a content creator, I can tell when most people are not watching videos. Happens at the 4th of July. I think it's going, you know, obviously right around Christmas. Hey, Danny, Labor Day weekend. Just, you know, people are not watching videos. So I would just be, you know, and I thought about it and I was like, oh, I want to just take a couple of days off myself to kind of recharge so I can hit the ground running for fall. Now, obviously, that's not working out quite the way I'd hoped because I'm behind schedule. I love you, Sadie. I love you guys. I love you so much. And I was like, oh, people aren't going to mind. And then I got so many people being like, where's movie math? And I was both moved, but then also very guilty. So we won't be missing any movie maths. The next movie math that we'll miss will be around the holiday season. But otherwise, I'll be there for you on Sundays. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Cat Shack. I shall be there. I miss you guys too. I love you guys. And that's just what happened. And I will tell you that I had a lovely Labor Day weekend. I had a really, really nice time with my family. I saw a lot of fun small movies. I saw Afraid, which I didn't think was that bad, you know, the new horror movie. I saw Strange Darling, which I loved. I ate outside a lot. I went to the Bronx Zoo, and I saw a cheetah. I looked a cheetah in the eye. Hey, Marcus. And I really actually highly recommend that. It was a lot of fun to do. They're called Wild Encounters. And, you know, a small group of people have like a meet and greet with a cheetah. It was so fun. It was great. All right. Yeah, that's what I did. It was great. Here, do I have a picture of a cheetah? Let me see. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. We got a bonus animal. We got a baby alligator named Frodo. I had a great time. Where's this cheetah? Oh, here we go. Here's a pretty good look at the cheetah. Cheetah! And cheetahs can get COVID, by the way. So we had to all wear masks. So we didn't give the cheetah COVID. Strong recommend. Had a great time. A little pricey, but I think worth it for a special event. Morphed, the cheetah was not sedated, but I think recently fed. Yeah, the cheetah was not sedated. They said the reason you can't take a picture with the cheetah is because it's not sedated. And so, but his owner sure liked him. He was looking that owner something fierce. Okay, but it was really fun. Also, by the way, side note, the cheetah has a dog friend. Let me see if I have a picture of the dog. The cheetah was raised with a dog. Boy, tangent, sorry. The cheetah was raised with a dog, and the dog is supposed to be there so that to let the cheetah feel like safe. Like here's the dog. It was his best buddy named Finn. But it was funny because the dog just lied down the whole time. Like it walked in and then just lied down. And so that was hilarious. But they said when they're backstage, they run around together and they're good friends. I thought that was adorable. All right, okay, all right. We got 3 stories today. I saved them up. You know, I was so annoyed that they dropped Jurassic World footage. Jurassic World information the day before Labor Day weekend. I was like, whatever, Universal, I got stuff to do, you know? So I was like, why would you do it here? It was frustrating. But we're going to talk about it today. All right, so I loaded up chapter times, I loaded up graphics. We're going to go to town. We're going to have a great time. Thank you for everybody who's joining. If you're alive, if you're a member, you can join into the live chat. Phenomenal. If you're not, I see you. I see that you're there, and I appreciate you. Okay? All right. So, story number 1. Hold on. Hal chapter times. There they are. Okay. Casting Hal Jordan. So first off, is this true? Is this true? I heard that it was true. Okay? My sources confirmed it. They said that not only is Josh Brolin I didn't boop it. Boopity boop. So we don't need the red square anymore because I have the chapter so you can see. So yes, they are waiting on Josh Brolin. It's his to turn down. And then also, it's true that Chris Pine is runner-up. How could he be runner-up? He's Steve Trevor. I don't understand that. But yeah, apparently he is. And Chris Pine was such an incredible Steve Trevor. I just don't the thing seems ridiculous. But it will be Chris Pine, apparently, if Josh Brolin says no. A lot of you are talking about Josh Brolin's, complicated, let's say, past. Which I think is a genuine concern, I think, today. It hasn't seemed to have affected Josh Brolin up until now, but you never know. I think as soon as he joins DC, it'll become a problem for him. That seems to be the way that things go. But yeah, I like Timothy Oliphant. He's wonderful, of course, from Justified, but he's apparently third choice. Complicated, I believe that he was, I don't know if he was, I think he might have been arrested for, who was it? Diane Lane. I think that he had a domestic incident. Hey, thank you, Francis. He was charged, okay, but I think she dropped the charges, right, eventually, and so that's why it never actually went anywhere. But yeah, it's not great. He's often brought up when people are upset, when people talk about, actors of color who find themselves in controversies like Jonathan Majors. People will often say, well, how is Josh, he's often looped in with Sean Penn. And they go, how is Sean Penn and Josh Brolin still walking around? And, you're like, that's a valid question. How are they still working? And you're like, I think, it's a valid, I'll just leave it at that. It's a valid comparison. Okay. Oh, that's right, Dreads. That seems to be the answer. that would seem to be the answer. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, Chris Pine, this is your lineup. All right? Now, because they're looking to cast an older Hal, it makes you wonder if, therefore, Jon Stewart will be younger. Right? They're going to do... I had thought so the setup for this Lantern storyline, okay, is that Hal and Jon Stewart are going to be investigating some kind of crime. I believe it was a murder, maybe, but they're going to be, it's like a detective. It's like True Detective DC version, basically. And I had thought they would be peers. Silly me. I thought that they were going to be peers. It is going to be a TV series on HBO. I can review Penguin next week. I'm very excited. I've watched all the episodes of Penguin. Okay. But anyway. Yeah, so it's a series, and I thought that they were going to be peers. But apparently, it seems that Hal Jordan's going to be the senior statesman, and that Jon Stewart is going to be like the new guy, right? I mean, you've seen that dynamic with detectives all the time. That's right, Mika, like Jodie Foster and Callie Reese. Boy, I loved True Detective Night Country. Sure, it got a little wonky in the middle, and the episodes weren't great a little bit. But you know, the beginning and the end were phenomenal, and I liked both Foster and Reese quite a bit. But anyway, so yes, so we'll see how it works out. I'm a little nervous. Now, I think that a lot of people, the internet was not pleased when this story broke, as I would have anticipated. You know, I'm surprised, you know, James Gunn, for all that he's supposed to be dialed in to comic book, that's like his selling point. Like the other day, somebody was like, what would you call a Batman-Superman team-up? And he's like, world's finest. And everyone's like, oh my God, he gets it. And you're like, well, first of all, that's like the softballiest question you could possibly come up with, you know. And second of all, I don't think it would be likely that that title would be approved. Because I think, you know, maybe that could be the subtitle, but I think that a lot of like casuals would be like, what's world's finest mean? I mean, there's a reason they keep putting Batman and Superman in the title. Because, you know, you're titling something to sell tickets, not like for like, you know, like for what, you know, for like a nostalgia play or something. You know, I honestly say, like, as an executive, I'd be like, I'm sorry, James, but like 60% of our audience isn't going to have any idea what you're talking about. That's right. Fantastic Beasts, Birds of Prey, Tenerife, those are great examples. You know, everybody's like, what are you talking about? You just yeah, you're right, Finn. It would have to be Batman and Superman, world's finest. And then all the comic book fans would be like, thank you very much. And then all the casuals would go, oh, Batman and Superman are in this movie? Maybe I'll see it, maybe I won't after Batman v Superman. So that's the way it works. But yeah, but I'm surprised that for all that James Gunn seems to be dialed in, that he wouldn't realize, right? Oh yeah, that's right, Classic Bunny Librarian. Classic Bunny Librarian says she can't pronounce Joker Folie à Deux. And it's funny because Lady Gaga was putting up something and she was calling something fad. She was like, fad press conference, fad event. I was like, what the hell is fad? And then I was like, oh yeah, it's Folie à Deux. It's Joker 2. I'm telling you. And all the metadata, it's Joker 2. That's how everybody looks it up. It's Joker 2. So yeah, so I don't understand why James Gunn didn't realize that fans would want a Hal Jordan to fit with these two guys. By the way, I watched the Menendez brothers trailer this morning, and that one with the glasses, I was like, I found you Hal Jordan. There he is. Thank you, Ryan Murphy. You want hot guys? Ryan Murphy's just, you know, Ryan Murphy's like, take my sloppy seconds. You know, I mean, that's where David Cornsweet came from. So I'd be like, there's no shame in just going to the Ryan Murphy garden and saying, well, who you got today? So I think that guy, I don't know if he's a great actor or not, but I think people would like him as Hal Jordan. But yeah, I'm trying to get somebody who's I don't even know if David Cornsweet can act. I think the jury's still out on that one, my friends. But I think that, yeah, that's right, Emeka, the Mendez trailer is up. All right, so anyway, Michael Macenas, that's interesting. So yeah, so I think that people just wanted a Hal Jordan that fits with these two dudes. But clearly, the person who's going to fit with these two dudes is the Jon Stewart. I think that James Gunn he's trying to build this Justice League from the animated series. And I get that. But then this is where DC runs into problems. Who is your Green Lantern? Oh, you guys want a poll? There's a poll. Because sadly, everybody's got a different goddamn answer to that question. And that's where DC runs into trouble. Who is your Green Lantern? Like, mine's Jon Stewart, but I recognize that a lot of people prefer Hal. Alan Scott, Hal Jordan, work that poll, Michael, that's funny. Jon Stewart. See, I like politically incorrect humor. That Beetlejuice review, I knew it was going to be a nightmare for me yesterday. It wasn't that bad. So everybody who understood what I was talking about, thank you. All right, and then who should be the fourth? Kyle Rayner or Guy Gardner? I think it should be Kyle. Nobody likes Guy Gardner, right? Curse my 4 options. Okay, we'll do Kyle Rayner. I'm pretty sure I misspelled Rayner. Okay, take Alan out. I probably should have taken Alan out. But Alan Scott is now the LGBT Green Lantern, and so I think there's representation there. Oh, you guys wanted Guy. Should I redo it? No, they're not doing particularly well anyway. looks like they picked the right lanterns for this show. Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And I'm sure a bunch of other a bunch of other Green Lanterns are going to go. You know, Mish, Taron Egerton would be a great Hal Jordan. I agree, but I'd prefer him for Cyclops. So yeah, so anyway, I think that this is the Justice League that he's building. But I think that a lot of people are going to be like, but I want the Justice League with Hal in it first. So, but then how long is that going to take? You're like, man, you know, this is taking forever. Because, you know, they're so far behind from Marvel. You know, they're so far behind. Like, James Gunn's just starting now, and Marvel is, like, already so far along that they're messed up a little bit. All right, then the next thing is, so who's the OG Green Lantern? So that's what we're talking about right now. But then something else that came up, I'll give this vote another minute. Something else that came up, which I thought was interesting, was people are like, he's going for Parallax, isn't he? Now, I don't like Green Lantern very much, I'm sorry to say, so I'm not that familiar with the Parallax storyline. The only Green Lantern storyline that I've ever enjoyed, besides enjoying Jon Stewart in the animated series, was that I really enjoyed Blackest Night, that crossover event. I was like, this is an excellent crossover event. But Parallax is, Hal Jordan became evil, basically, right? So he became corrupt with power. He's got the gray sideburns. You know, the Reed Richards action. You can kind of see him there. Okay? Like right there. He's got the white sideburns. So everybody's like, if we're going with the older Hal Jordan, maybe he's evil. And I'm like, oh yeah, I see it now. 2 detectives investigating a murder. Only one of them's in on it. And it's Hal, and Hal's evil, and Jon Stewart has to fight his partner, who he thought was a good guy. I mean, we've seen it a gabillion times before. But maybe we're going to see it again, because that makes sense to me, to do Parallax. But the only reason the Parallax works, and this is where Hollywood keeps running into trouble, is that the only reason the Parallax was a big storyline, and that's right, Kaharis is even more like Training Day in that regard. However, the only reason that this all worked is because people had spent decades with Hal Jordan, and then he turned evil. You can't meet Hal Jordan and then see him turn evil and it's supposed to resonate with the viewers. It's just, you know, you just can't rush it like that. And apparently we'll see. But, you know, I mean, to me, I'm starting to see the story take shape. Let me close the poll. But to me, I'm starting to be like, yes, this makes perfect sense. Hold on, the poll. So who is your Green Lantern? Look at you. 50% for Mr. Jon Stewart. Maybe James Gunn is tapped in, and the Hal Jordan fans are just very loud. 38% Hal Jordan, 5% Kyle Rayner, and 5% Alan Scott. I wonder how Guy Gardner would have switched the poll. That's interesting. Jon Stewart. I hope they get the casting right on Jon Stewart. That could be incredible. I would love that. Because again, he's my Green Lantern too from the animated series. All right. Yeah, that's right. Guy Gardner already is in the Superman show. I also heard, by the way, I'll just say it. I heard that Lex Luthor is going to show up, and they've already filmed it. So they might take it out again. But I've heard that at least as of right now, Lex Luthor is going to show up at the end of an upcoming DC project. And if you can't figure it out from that, knowing my history and knowing everything else, you know, you're just not trying. I don't like that idea, by the way. I think it's a bad idea to introduce Lex in that way. And I think that said DC project should just be able to stand on its own. That being said, while I probably won't cover the entire project, I would, of course, probably cover that. All right. It's not the Penguin show. That's a pretty solid guess there, Morphed. That's pretty funny. But that's a different universe. So we'll see. I'm like, no, Nicholas Hoult, don't get talked into stuff like that. Stand your ground. Okay. Yeah, like, I don't think that's going to make people watch the entire project. They'll just be like, to the max, and they'll watch the clip. Even worse, they might watch the clip, like, on TikTok or on Twitter. All right. The Waller show hasn't even been filmed yet, Poke. The Amanda Waller show hasn't even been filmed. All right. It's not Creature Commandos, because that's animated. Okay. It's weird to reveal the character that way. I actually think it's a horrible, horrible idea to reveal a major character from an upcoming huge movie in a show. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll love it. Okay. But I'm like, man, we are not starting out strong. And maybe he'll change it at the last minute and say that it never was. Okay. Then next up, which is, by the way, I would like to say that James Gunn has effectively killed all chatter about DC. And I mean, we'll see if that ends up being okay. You know, like, I think chatter is important because it keeps people invested and interested in it. You know, Kevin Feige doesn't comment on anything, but you know, this rumor I just told you, everybody at the trades has heard it. But everybody's too scared to say it because James Gunn just comes out and goes, that's not true. And then later on is like, oh, because of a loophole, or says something else. And then, but still, all of his legion of fans show up and go, you're full of shit, you know? And everybody's like, it's not worth it. I don't care. You know, like, who cares? I'm not going to talk up DC. What's in it for me or you? And I think that it's not good for the brand. I think that we should be able to have these conversations, right? And then, you know, as I said before, like, if he doesn't show up, he doesn't show up, you know, like, whatever. Okay. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure somebody right now is like, dear James Gunn, it's Lex Luthor and, you know, and whatever. Okay. Whatever, man. I'll play this game all day long because that is the game that I signed up for. Okay. And by the way, I hope that he does cut it out of the show. If my leaking it and everybody being like, that's the dumbest idea I ever heard, gets it out of the show, then I will say that it was worth it. I'll take the hit to get it out of there because it's a stupid idea. I'll be like, fine. I did what was needed. Okay. Thank you, Victor. Now, the only thing, Rio, I don't think it's a good way to introduce such a major character. I think that character should debut in the Superman trailer. I feel very strongly about it. That's where you should see the character for the first time. Okay. That's right, J. Jonah Jameson. I'm the hero you need or / deserve, depending on who you're asking. I'm Batman. Okay. That's right. That's right, Victor. It would be like introducing Thanos. And I wouldn't say the Ms. Marvel show, but just any show would be weird. You'd be like, what? Okay. Now, the only thing that's interesting to me here, all right, is like I have a lot of faith in the writing team that they've hired. Damon Lindelof and Chris Mundy. So no matter what comes up here, okay, Poke says, isn't the Superman movie coming out first? Oh, well, then if that's the case, that's fine. But I think Peacemaker, I'm not sure what the order is. That's an interesting question. Then never mind. Okay. All right, so these are the writers, Damon Lindelof and Chris Mundy. This is an incredible writing team. I think that by far and away, even with the potential casting of an older Hal Jordan, I think this is the best thing that James Gunn has put together. He's put together such a fantastic package for Green Lantern that even I have to be like, it's beautiful, James. Top-notch work, right? I mean, it's just really strong. And I have to say, I think this casting's, I mean, I think Chris Pine is weird because he was Steve Trevor. But I think Josh Brolin kind of works, especially if you're going to do seasoned Hal Jordan who turns evil. I'm like, man, that is Josh Brolin. I mean, I think it's a little bit repetitive because Josh Brolin's done a bit in so much Marvel stuff already, but I think it would be a good show. I think the Jon Stewart casting is going to be crucial. But then also, you know, I think that while Damon Lindelof has written some crap, I loved Watchmen. I thought Watchmen was incredible. And so that makes me feel nice. And then, of course, Chris Mundy comes from the world of Ozark. I mean, it's amazing stuff. You just can't do a better job. Jonathan Damson Idris would be fabulous, but I think I don't know if Damson Idris wants to get involved with DC. I think that DC is tough. Dancing Dog 60, are you the one who keeps saying Josh Hartnett? I like Josh Hartnett a lot. I think he'd be a good choice and maybe a little bit younger for what people would like. And he was excellent. He kind of played a space figure already in Black Mirror. But yeah. So, yeah, I think this writing team is so strong, it would be hard for me to be nervous about the show. Tom King's also involved, but hopefully only in the broad strokes. Because I think Tom King, I wonder if, comic book readers know Tom King very well. Tom King is a brilliant idea man, but a lot of times he overwrites. And all of his stuff is the same. So I'm interested to see if, people who watch only filmed content will soon come to be like, Tom King! It's like the same thing. Jay Kelly, I always buy all of Tom King's comic books. And sometimes I don't like them, but I always buy his work. All right. Got into a fight with Tom King too, by the way. Whatever. Whatever, man. Whatever. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments about this story? Before we move on to the next one. I see fellow Ozian wants to boop on. I like your Wizard of Oz thing there. We're going to see the new Wicked trailer tomorrow. Thanks, Rick. That means so much to me. You guys cheer me up too. That's so nice. Mika says budget predictions. Probably around 100, because, they better have a lot of green energy, or what the hell are we doing here? Michael says, do you think Warner Brothers will spend the money for proper VFX? Again, they better, or what are we doing here? Don't make a Green Lantern show if you can't afford to. This is a show, Leo. This is going to be a series on HBO. I hope it's good. I'm really curious to see the reaction to Penguin. Oh, we can talk about it on Thursday, a week from tomorrow. That's the review embargo. I'm under social media embargo. I'm under review embargo. I can't talk about it until a week from Thursday. Hey, Wes. Thank you. Thanks, Emilio. Elise says it takes place on Earth. That's fine. I don't care if it takes place on Earth. As long as they're doing a lot of stuff on Earth. I want some Green Lanterns to show up and visit. I want them to make lots of constructs with their ring. It's really important. So it better frickin' happen. Let's see here. Niall says, I bet it better not all take place on Earth. Well, they might be go into a space room here and there. But, I think for the most part, no. Everybody wants to boop. All right, we'll boop on to the next one. Hey, Asensio. Okay, boopity boop, 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 my friends. Let's boop. Let's boop out of here. On to the next story, which is the ridiculous Minecraft trailer. See, if I had been up on time this morning, I would have reacted to this. I got to get back on schedule. I was like, no. I'm trying to find out if there's going to be a final Joker trailer on Monday when tickets go on sale. My source hasn't heard anything, but I will be ready. It's crazy to me. I thought this looked awful. I was like, oh, God, not another video game movie, because video game movies get me into a lot of trouble. So I was like, no. I had no problem with The Last of Us, and I had no problem with Fallout. But I think the games that I don't understand don't go well for me. I'm like, ugh. But it went particularly poorly this morning for Jack Black. So let's get my arrow up here. So Jack Black was trending #1, not Minecraft, but Mr. Jack Black. And I did think it was ridiculous when he showed up. And I was like, he's not even in costume. That's what Jack Black looks like all the time. I was like, they just put him in a blue shirt and had him walk on set. I was like, this is just a new low in terms of effort made on the production. So that was not great. So I was like, this looks awful. But I was like, who knows? Maybe Minecraft fans are going crazy. So I went over to Twitter, and I saw that was not the case. They were crazy mad. It was Borderlands 2, basically. It was very bad. So one problem is that Jack Black sure does make a lot of video game movies. I think that is a big problem. Like, for instance, he was in Jumanji, which this seems almost to be exactly like. He was the voice of Bowser in Super Mario Brothers. And then, of course, he just did a voice in Borderlands. Not to mention he's in the Kung Fu Panda movies. So I was like, I think you got to use somebody besides Jack Black, because I think he's just overexposed in this space. So that wasn't good. But then here's the other problem that I think they were not ready for. And that's the Tenacious D controversy, where everybody on both sides of the political spectrum are upset with Jack Black right now. So they're going to take it out on this movie, it seems. So on the one, for those of you who aren't aware, right after the Donald Trump assassination attempt, Tenacious D had a show. And Kyle Gass, Gas or Glass, but his bandmate, Tenacious D, made a no matter how you feel, it was a really inappropriate comment about what happened. And so, Kyle Gass. So Jack Black immediately disavowed him and said the band's taking a break. And so everybody who's conservative was like, how dare you make that joke? And everybody who is liberal was like, how dare you not own up to it and abandon your friend? So everybody's upset with Jack Black, everybody. And so, in the Minecraft movies, oh no, that's basically what happened. So that's an issue. Then also, though, this was my favorite thing about the trailer. I liked Jason Momoa's hair. And I gotta tell you, because at some points when I was little, that's what my hair looked like. And I felt his pain. Humidity. You're trying real hard and you're like I had this problem a little bit. Forget when I was little, my hair looked a lot like this weekend during Labor Day because the humidity levels were very high. And so I was like, who gave Jason Momoa my hair? I thought that was just very, very funny. And I thought it was very relatable. I think he looks, he's doing a bit. And I thought it was a funny bit. I think his hair matches his outfit. So I thought it was funny. Michaela understands what I'm talking about. I just thought that was very funny. I thought it was good. I actually thought what Jason Momoa was doing here was funny. I'll be honest with you. See, these video game movies get me in trouble. If he walked out and he was like, this is what I'm thinking, I was like, that's pretty funny, Jason. I found it very relatable. I think maybe people who play Minecraft don't find it relatable, but I think a lot of people would. I think the shirt, the hair, the gloves, I think he's got a little bit of lipstick on, maybe? I'm not sure. He looks like he's got a little mascara. I'll tell you that. He's got a little bit of zhuzh on the eyes. But I think he looks great. I thought it was funny. But the movie did, to me, look like absolute torture. But I thought that Super Mario Brothers was torture, and Super Mario Brother fans thought it was incredible. So I was like, I don't know how this is going to go down. I wasn't sure, but everybody hates it. That's right, maybe it is Maybelline, Mr. Magic. Maybe it is. So yeah, that's Emma Myers from Wednesday, Danielle Brooks, and some new kid, because some Hollywood executive was like, we got to have a kid in it so it's relatable to the kids who play Minecraft. And everyone goes, oh yeah, that's right. Only kids play Minecraft. Don't a bunch of adults play Minecraft too? I don't get it. I look at the game. I remember for a while everybody was Minecrafting on Twitch. I remember a couple of years or so ago, Alexandra AOC was playing Minecraft on a Twitch channel, and everyone was going crazy. They were like, AOC's playing the Minecraft. And I was like, oh, that's pretty clever on her part. And everybody was going nuts about it. So I don't get it. I just am like, it's just a world of blocks. I get Fortnite. I get Fortnite. Oh, that was Among Us? Oh, she was playing Among Us. That's right, which looks very similar, but less glam. Thank you, B Powers. She was playing Among Us. So yeah, a lot of video games, but just because something makes a fun game doesn't mean it should be a movie. I play Luminosity every day for brain exercises, and I wouldn't turn that into a movie. See, Nikki doesn't get it. I just don't get Minecraft. I don't get it. But are there, you guys, tell me, are there as many Minecraft fans as there are Super Mario fans? Some of you feel that there are. But I don't know if they want to see a movie, because they didn't rally behind this movie. Maybe it should have been animated. But I can't understand who would want to look at this lack of detail for 2 hours. I think it looks awful. I don't get it. But people are playing it. If I were a Hollywood executive, I don't understand why they don't hire people who play the game to write and direct the movies. I'd be like, I don't know why people like this. Let's go find someone who does. And I'd be like, tell us. That's what I would do. But it is also, I wanted to talk about Hollywood formulas. That's why we'll bring Jumanji back up here. Some studio, so they took a risk on Jumanji. And remember, it looked like it wasn't going to work out, and then the movie blew up. And now you see all these Jumanji copycats, because they go, every studio executive, like it's a joke, but it's funny because it's true. They go, get me a Jumanji. And so their development executives have to go and they have to look through all the properties and they have to be like, okay, what's kind of similar to this? I think Borderlands is trying to be a Jumanji a little bit. And that's just the way it works. That's right, Aubrey. Jungle Cruise also tried to build on Jumanji. And so I think that's clearly what they've done here. They go, we even have Jack Black again. Yeah, that's interesting, Marco. Maybe Guardians of the Galaxy did start all this, and maybe Jumanji was sold as like a take on that, and I think that's true. So, but that's how this happens. And I think, though, people can tell. And I think especially also when you're this far down the line, when there have been so many other copycat projects already, that now they're just running on fumes. Like Jumanji was a pretty good approximation of Guardians of the Galaxy. But that's because they changed a lot about it. They changed the setting. It's not the exact same thing, but you can see the DNA. But this clearly looks like it came from like a studio think tank. They're like, audiences will like it. I thought it was very funny. I was watching Only Murders in the Building, and they have, in the first episode, they have a Hollywood meeting. And I thought that Hollywood meeting was so well done. It was so, I thought, realistic. And I thought one of the funniest things is that Molly Shannon's playing a development executive or a production executive, and she goes, I don't need an algorithm to tell me that this movie would be a hit, but I plugged it into the algorithm anyway, and they said it would be a hit. And I was watching it, and I was talking to someone about it, and I was like, I would never use the algorithm. I would just go with my gut. But then I was like, but as long as the algorithm's there, maybe I'd like to double check and just make sure. And then also, here becomes the problem. If your movie fails and you didn't use the algorithm, then your boss is going to be like, so you didn't check with the algorithm, huh? And you go, no, I went with my gut. And he goes, but you just lost us a couple $100 million. And then you go, So you can't blame the algorithm. Otherwise you can say, well, the algorithm told me it was okay. So it's very interesting. There is an algorithm, Marco. It's totally true. That's not a joke. That just goes to show you what it's like today. And and she also said the AI said it had to be released before Christmas to give it the best chances of success. I thought that was very funny because it's true. The algorithm is real and it is being used. I think you need a mix. I wouldn't totally trust the algorithm, but I think, for job security, I'd want to see what it has to say, I guess. Paul says, let's do questions for this, and then we'll go on to the next one. Paul says, can studios, or do they already, do some kind of polling to the right audience to find out what they like, or a focus group? They do focus groups. They do, but I don't think they're very well run, to be honest with you, from what I've heard. And I also think that sometimes people don't know what they want. I think it's a little bit tough, I also feel like that's why you need experts. You need to talk to people. Like, I think they always ask the wrong people. I'd be like, sometimes it's hard for people to articulate why they like something. So you need to go and ask somebody who professionally studies that to tell you what they've found. Sometimes it's a market research company, and sometimes it could be someone like, myself, or someone in the video game space who's like, I study this, it's my job to know what people are interested in, And even then sometimes you don't know for sure. Like, for instance, Inside Out 2. People didn't really want to talk about Inside Out 2 as a video, but they sure as heck wanted to see it in theaters. And I'm wondering if it's going to be the same thing with Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, not a lot of interest, as a topic, but I think it's going to maybe potentially, we'll see if it's either a big movie or not. Mexican says, can the algorithm greenlight a movie about itself? That's hilarious. It would probably say, no, horrible idea. Don't tell the world about me. Oh, Leo says that the show Glamorous on Netflix has a nice episode talking about focus groups. Oh, good to know. And Cole says, tastes change. By the time you talk to an expert, the movie is released 3 years later and tastes change. Cole, That's fascinating, because let me tell you something. I like to film my reviews as close to when they drop as possible for that very reason. I find that even when I'm reviewing something, if I review it and film it a little bit too early, for some reason it doesn't seem as fresh. I sometimes, like for instance, I've seen The Penguin. I watched those episodes before Labor Day. And you would think, why not film the review then and just get it done and bank it? And I'm like trying to film it as close to possible as when I'm going to drop it, because I want to have that feeling of, in the moment. Because, I think it's palpable. But I think that's very true. I think maybe Hollywood suffers from these long lag times, because I think things do change considerably. Like you got to feel it. You got to feel it. What's happening? Oh, hey, SMR Goose. I missed you too. All right. Max Rollo says Minecraft has sold 600 million copies since 2011 and 166 million active users every month. As a studio executive, I'm salivating. I'll tell you that right now. I'm like, no. Give it to me. I don't have to understand it to make money off of it. I just got to go find somebody who does. And the way Hollywood goes is pay them significantly less to adapt it from me. That's hilarious. All right, let's move on to the next one. But that's, that's the business. That's right, Chris. That's what every executive ever said. All right. Zach says it's like football execs chase the ball. The hot thing, whenever's on the other side, feels fresh. I don't quite get that metaphor, but I'm like, I want to. All right. Jesse says that number is smaller than it sounds, but you have to remember that not that many people actually go to the movies to make a big hit. So if I can just get if I can get 100 million people to go, or even 80 million people, that's pretty darn good. And then think about all the people who will stream it and rent it online. I can make a lot of money there. So, all right, you guys want to talk? Oh, well, look at the interest in Jurassic. All right, let's go. Let's do it. Where are my chapter times? Here we are. Okay. Let me move them a little bit. All right, it's dino time. Rawr, rawr, rawr. All right. So on Thursday, they released a whole bunch of information. Oh yeah, boom, baby. They released a whole bunch of information about Jurassic World, and I got really angry. I was like, I was having work done on my apartment. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do any work. And by the way, they couldn't even fix the problem. They have to come back. I knew they couldn't fix it either. The whole day was lost. I was so frustrated. All right, but anyway. Because I'm a germaphobe, so it required a lot of cleaning. Anyway, came in, looked at it, and said, yeah, it's broken, all right. Like, God damn it. All right. All right, so they released this, and I was powerless to do anything until now. So the title is Jurassic World Rebirth. I hate that title. I hates it. Let me tell you why. I wish that it had a different second word. Because the first three movies were Jurassic Park, and then the second trilogy, those three movies were Jurassic World. So I'm not sure what would come after World. I mean, I feel the studio executives' pain. They're like, well, I don't know what to call it. And I feel like they kind of gave up. Yeah, Jurassic Earth, I would have preferred that. There are lots of choices. Jurassic Planet, that's a good one. I like Jurassic Planet. Jurassic Galaxy, these are all better. You guys already solved it. Jurassic Universe. I just don't like that it's another Jurassic World, because it's supposed to be a new trilogy with new characters. So if they're going to keep calling it Jurassic World, I'm like, where's Chris Pratt then? So it basically becomes Jurassic World 4. And I didn't like that. I would have preferred it be a new title. But that's what we got. Jurassic World Rebirth. And just on that note, we had these first look pictures. And I felt kind of bad for Jonathan Bailey, because one of those channels that makes AI trailers that are fake, they turned Jonathan Bailey into Chris Pratt in the thumbnail. And I was like, what the what? That's just a lie. and it's untrue, and it's so disrespectful to Jonathan Bailey. I was very upset about it. But yeah, that's what someone on the AI thing did. So that's what happened. So anyway, here's our first look. We'll look at the pictures, and then we'll look at the title breakdown. Okay? So there's Scarlett Johansson, who's apparently a huge Jurassic fan, which makes me love her all the more. I hope this goes well for her. This is a weird first look. I think Jonathan Bailey, he's got the intellectual glasses on. He's like, let me adjust them. It definitely looks like a dino. You're like, love it. Also, his character's last name is Loomis. And Loomis, of course, is a very famous name in Hollywood scripts. They always try and throw a Loomis in there. Whenever you hear Loomis, it's like a famous Hollywood throwback. So yeah, he looks great. He looks great. We'll talk about the characters and the story in a moment. But yeah, I don't know why they're in a cornfield again. I'm like, audiences did not like the science stuff in the last movie. They were like, I just want to see people trying to not get eaten by dinosaurs. That's all we want. Thank you very much. But yeah, they're clearly looking at a dino, and they have that look of it's going very well on their face. They're mesmerized. But then, look, here's our second pick, and Mahershala Ali, he's definitely in the movie, baby. Oh, things are not going well. And as they said, they always like to put a flare in these movies. I love flares. I think they look cool, too. And so he looks like he's got a pretty good part. So that's exciting. And a sizable part. You know, Omar Sy joined Jurassic World, as you might recall, hot off of the Untouchables. And then his role was super small, which I thought was frustrating. And, you know, the Jurassic movies have always had a little bit of a problem with diversity in their casts. So I think this is like a really big deal for the franchise. So very exciting. All right, now let's talk about the plot. So, wow, look at that, baby. Oh, we're going to go through it. I got my arrow. Okay, so Universal sent this out. And we're going to go through it. I got this email, and I was like, damn it. That's a lot of words, Marco. We're going to read through them. So it says, next summer, 3 years after the Jurassic World trilogy concluded, with each film surpassing $1 billion, $1 billion at the global box office, the enduring Jurassic series evolves in an ingenious new direction with Jurassic World Rebirth. I'll believe it when I see it, thank you very much. I wouldn't toot my own horn too much just yet. All right, then, anchored by iconic action superstar Scarlett Johansson, this is hilarious, breakthrough talent Jonathan Bailey, and two-time Oscar winner Mahershala Ali. And Mahershala Ali's like, still listed third, thank you. This action-packed new chapter sees an intrepid team racing to secure DNA samples from the three most colossal creatures across land, sea, and air. Oh, how are they going to collect that air sample? Also, starring acclaimed international stars Rupert Friend, internationally acclaimed, give me a break, and Manuel Garcia Rulfo, who's the Lincoln lawyer. The film is directed by dynamic visualist Gareth Edwards. Nowhere does it say he was our second choice. From a script by original Jurassic Park screenwriter David Koepp. All right, very good, very nice. Bye, Morphed. All right, so that's right. You know, whatever. I like your name. How about some underwater dino sequences? That's true. They could have some really cool sequences above land, in water, in the air. That could be exciting. All right, but now here's where it starts to get interesting. So what the heck's happening? All right, so 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the plant's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. What? Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments near the equator, obviously, with climates resembling the one in which they had once thrived. You know what that says to me? They've made the savage land real, baby. They've created pockets of dinosaurs on the globe. A little bit of a walk back. We never got our Dinotopia, unfortunately. I mean, I guess I'm okay with this, but it seems like a little bit of a walk back. But that's what they're doing. So that's the setup. So the three most colossal creatures within the tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. You know, that's interesting, Marco, about Singapore. I wonder if these three locations are in different parts of the globe that maybe coincide with the biggest box office areas. I wouldn't be surprised if they were. I'm positive one's in Asia. All right. Then, who's everybody playing? Academy Award nominee Scarlett Johansson plays skilled covert operations expert Zora Bennett. Ah, it's hilarious. I love it. So she's leading the team. She's the team leader. I love it. Contracted to lead a skilled team on a top secret mission to secure genetic material from the world's 3 most massive dinosaurs. So she is a mercenary leader. Ah, that's going to be so great. I can't wait. I can't wait for that. That's going to be fantastic. When Zora's operation intersects with a civilian family whose boating expedition was capsized by marauding aquatic dinos. So there's a family that's thrown into the mix because they're stranded. They all find themselves stranded on an island where they come face to face with a sinister, shocking discovery, of course there is, that's been hidden from the world for decades. Oh, what is it? A secret theme park for the wealthy? Oh, this sounds, it sounds pretty good, actually, I have to say. When you read it out loud in a ridiculous voice and you're having fun with it, you're like, not bad. All right, so who else is everybody else playing? So Mahershala Ali is Duncan Kincaid. Ah, where are the action figures, my friend? Zora's most trusted team leader. So he's second in command. All right, so Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali are leading up this squad. Emmy nominee and Olivier Award winner Jonathan Bailey plays paleontologist Dr. Henry Loomis. Thank you very much. What dinosaur do I want to hunt? That one. Okay, here we go. Emmy nominee Rupert Friend appears as Big Pharma representative Martin Krebs. Okay, he's evil. And Manuel Garcia Rulfo plays Ruben Delgado, the father of the shipwrecked civilian family. All right, so they're a Latino family. Good job with the demographics because, of course, as we've seen, Latinos have become a major force in North America's box office. So very strong. And also, of course, the Brazilian box office is big. It's very well designed from that perspective. The cast also includes Luna Blaze from Manifest, David Iacocco from The Summer I Turned Pretty, and Audrina Miranda from Lopez vs. Lopez is Ruben's family. So he's got a wife and 2 kids, obviously, son and a daughter. Sounds like teenagers. The film also features, as members of Zora and Krebs' crews, the Red Shirts, Philippe Velg from Station 11, Bashir Sylvian from BMF, and Ed freaking Skrein! Oh, he's evil for sure. Ed Skrein. Who would hire Ed Skrein on their crew? I'm like, man, you know who Ed Skrein is, right? He's from the first Deadpool movie, or was he in Deadpool 2? But he also was the bad guy in the Rebel Moon movies. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. It would be interesting, Chris, if he actually ended up being a good guy, but that's not usually why anybody hires him. So I think that sounds like pretty good. It's more fun going over it with you guys. Like when I first read about it, I was like, that's dumb. But now that we've gone through it, I'm like, oh, it's so stupid. I love it. I think it could be fun. Does anybody have any questions or comments about this? Sib says, genuine question. How will this not just be Godzilla X Kong? That's a great question. Hopefully it'll have a stronger script. Godzilla X Kong was very silly. Hopefully this has a little bit more structure to it. Oh, thank you for bringing that up, MM92. And the fact that we didn't even discuss it, I think, is very good for, a strong representation for the character. So MM92 says, do you think Jonathan Bailey will be a queer character? I'm not sure. What would you guys like to see? I think that on the one hand, it would be beneficial for him to play an LGBTQ character who just happens to be LGBTQ, and that is not what defines him in the script. I think it would be great if he just was a doctor. And by the way, B.D. Wong is LGBTQ, who of course played the famous doctor from the original movies, but they never alluded to that. That's his orientation in real life. But I think it would be nice. Although Leonardo says no romance in the movie. He doesn't have to have that. I think if that's just one part of his personality, nobody is defined entirely by their sexuality. They have many different aspects to their character. And I think that's what we want to see, with this Jonathan Bailey character. I mean, on the other hand, it would be great if Jonathan Bailey could play all different types of characters, that he could, just because he's LGBTQ in real life doesn't mean that's the type of character he needs to play in a project. But I feel like it would be very beneficial, and especially after so much bad representation where the characters were not well done and therefore not well received. I think it would be wonderful if Jonathan Bailey played a Dr. Henry Loomis who happened to be LGBTQ. That's right, he is playing straight characters in Wicked and Bridgerton, Chris Kahn. But I think that it would be, nice if he just happened to be an LGBTQ doctor who just was right in it with everybody else. I think that would be very beneficial in the kind of representation that I think that as a straight person, I feel that that's the representation that the LGBTQ community is looking for now. So any other questions or comments about this? Tal Hewley says, she is a queer woman and I love to feel the comfort of LGBTQ representation, however, not as their main character trait. That's an excellent way to describe it. Not as a main character trait, just a part of their dynamic. Lloyd says, another $1 billion, people sure like their dinos. So if they come to play with a lot of dinos, I think they're in good shape. Especially because it's coming out over the 4th of July weekend. Do you know how bad this movie would have to be for people not to go see a dinosaur movie over the 4th of July? I mean, it does have to go up against Superman and Fantastic Four, which is, I think these movies are all hurting each other. I don't understand why they want to do that to each other. I think you can have 2 huge blockbusters in a month. 3 is tough. But we'll see what happens. Ban says that Superman should move. I would agree that Superman should move. If Superman isn't coming out for July 4th, I think it doesn't need to come out when it's coming out. Neal doesn't want any legacy cameos. Yeah, I think they had their chance to do that. I don't need to see. They were enough in Dominion. Lloyd, Superman in March is actually an excellent release date for that movie. I think March would be great for that film. Ilya, Superman would be a very American-themed movie for 4th of July, although I don't know if James Gunn's going in that direction, but they don't have the date. Universal already has it, so they're stuck. Dredd's DeWanda Wise was fantastic in Jurassic World Dominion. I feel bad she didn't get to do more. Why Wanda's attorney? Yeah, Captain America 4 for 4th of July would obviously be ideal, but unfortunately that just didn't work out. Thank you, Finn. Tallulah. Thank you. All right, I think we're ready for the Q&A section. Okay. All right, it's 3:47. You can ask me anything you'd like until 3:57, and then I must go. Ban, I did see the report that Knives Out has a huge budget. That was interesting to me because it's $200 million, and that's right up there with Killers of the Flower Moon, what Apple is spending on all this stuff these days, which is so ridiculous. But yet there's no back end, and that's where it becomes problematic, and I think that's what's driving their price up. Michelle says, Grace, what do you think about the situation with Twitter being blocked in Brazil? I think that when you're dealing and you're able to have the influence that Twitter does with elections and stuff, I think that you have to be able to play ball with the governments that you're in their countries. I think that the bar was set pretty low as to what Elon Musk needed to do to qualify and keep Twitter going in Brazil, and I think that he should have done it. I think that, with great power comes great responsibility. Uncle Ben knows what's up. And I think that, Elon Musk wants no responsibility whatsoever. Let's see here. Ricardo, I was told that I will get Agatha screeners closer to release, so I can review it when the embargo lifts. I will review Agatha. I will do weekly breakdowns. I know a lot of us are into Agatha. I will cover that show. Movies TV Review says, hi, Grace. What do you think about the new Lord of the Rings anime movie trailer? I like anime, but I don't think that it I don't think that it looks like a movie you would see in theaters. I think it looks like a streaming animated project. And I feel that if you're going to put something in theaters, it should look better than that. Marky Mark says, will you consider doing live stream review discussions of smaller movies like Strange, Darling, and Afraid? I think it's a nice way to draw attention to some of the good non-blockbuster movies. Once I get my schedule back up and running, I'm a little bit busy this week and next week. But after that, maybe when I'm back up to doing my live streams and everything's like it's supposed to, I will try to do that. That's a good idea, Marky. Alex says, Grace, thoughts on George's comments on House of the Dragon? He was very unhappy and even dissed the upcoming seasons. Did he actually write them out? I saw that he was going to write them. I don't understand why you would attack your own side. I think that it's not a good idea, and I think that time to bring this stuff up should have been, and when the show could have done something about it. Jesus says, what would a Grace Randolph variant look like? Probably some of my family members. I am an exact mix of my mother and my father. Like, whichever one I'm standing next to, I look like. Let's see here. Thanks. I'm glad you like my shirt, Doc. I wore it for the Beetlejuice spoiler review. I thought it was very fall-like. I'm glad you like it because when I first wore this shirt, somebody was like, that might be the ugliest shirt I've ever seen. And I felt bad because it was not I splurged on this shirt a little bit and because I thought it was so interesting. And so when someone said that, I was like, aw. So I'm glad you like it. Let's see here. David says, hey, Grace, it's my friend Evelyn's birthday. She couldn't join the stream today, but she's a huge fan. Well, I hope she's doing fun stuff on her birthday, and that's so sweet of you to think of her, David. Please say hello to her for me. Let's see here. Hold on, I'm going back. I know I missed some stuff. Ivan says, should Fantastic Four move to November, the Blade release date, or can it survive this crowded month? I think Fantastic Four, unless it somehow looks awful when they release a first look finally, there's intense interest in it. I'm starting to feel pretty good about Fantastic Four. And also, Fantastic Four comes out now at the same time of Comic-Con, just like Deadpool did. And Comic-Con they did a really good job using that to blow up the movie. And so I think they want to repeat that. Oh, Lucas says, Disney Park News, Tron is going to have a standby lane starting on Monday. I like that ride, but it's a little too short, but I like it. No, Mega Man, I did not see the Bo DeMeo statement. I don't have OnlyFans. How could I see it? I hope somebody uploads it somewhere else. That's a good litmus test to catch people if they're on OnlyFans. Let's see. All right, so Man on the Moon says, what did I break in my apartment? My washing machine. Hector Vega says, when did Joker 2 tickets go on sale? When are you watching it? Joker 2 tickets go on sale on Monday morning. I don't know if there's going to be a trailer or not, but I'll be prepared to see if there is. And then I'm not sure when I'm watching it. I think it's a little bit too early. But I'm sure that Warner Brothers might adjust when they let people see it based on the reviews. Let's see, did the Rotten Tomatoes score cement yet? Let me check. It was pretty bad last I checked. They might want to get some more reviews in there as fast as they can. Oh, they haven't even given it an actual score yet. But if you go on, it has just so many Rotten Tomatoes. It's probably going to be it could be in the 60s. Jesse the Good Witch says, I saw Afraid and blinked twice. Did you see them? I saw both of them, and I did like both of them as well, Jesse. I thought they were very good. I think they're releasing a little bit too many horror movies. These movies are all very similar, which is so that makes them seem all the same. But I'm enjoying them. Liam says, I realized English Teacher had come out thanks to your tweet and watched it today. What a great show. And I can't believe how well Trixie Mattel did as the drag queen. She was wonderful. Trixie Mattel was hilarious. I loved that show. And I thought that show did a good job capturing what it's like to be on social media. MM92 says, is Wicked still just part 1? If so, it's odd that it's not being advertised as that. I think they're afraid that people will say, I'll wait until I can see both of them together. I think that's their concern. But it's too late for that. Somebody should have brought it up when they were making the movie. Lucas says, Brazil is on Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Threads. It's hard to post on all these things, though. So I'm trying to post on Twitter and Threads, but I forget sometimes to do Threads, and then I feel bad. But I'm trying. Michaela, I did not see The Perfect Couple show on Netflix yet. I don't think I'm going to review it, but I am going to watch the heck out of it when it drops tomorrow. I'm very excited. Hey, Fatine, you can comment. Wanda's attorney says, in your opinion, who's going to win streaming this Halloween, Agatha or Penguin? I think they're both going to have they're both going to have their own little parties. That's how I'll say. And some of us will enjoy both parties. Wes says, hey, Grace, do you think Wicked can get audiences to wear pink and green in a similar way that Barbie did? I'm afraid I do not. I think some super fans will dress up, but I think either you already want to dress up or you don't. I don't think they're going to be able to get casuals to play along. Brett Crandall says, Green Lantern, Alan Scott comes out in trade form this month. Will you be checking it out? I plan on getting my copy signed at New York Comic Con. Oh, I'm so happy that you have something planned. That's great. I don't know if I'm going to pick that up. I'm a little disappointed in comics right now. I think they're a little bit weak. Every week I'm like, these could have been better. Hold on. I'm going back here. Oh, look at everybody wishing Evelyn a happy birthday. That's so sweet. Oh my goodness, I'm so far back. Ricky, I appreciate that warning. Thank you. Let's see here. Apricot Warrior says, hey Grace, sad movies feel like a mystery bag nowadays. Waste of time to fans or critics who are equal. Oh, you feel like movies are, okay, I'm sorry. Hey Grace, movies feel like a mystery bag nowadays. I'm not quite sure what you're asking, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Mr. Match Guy did see the trailer about with the teen's mouth being magically sewn up so he couldn't say his name, and I was intrigued. Marco says, with movies like Minecraft, do you think Hollywood is trying to bank on memeable movies to capture the rare success of movies like Barbenheimer? No, I think that one's purely a video game play. Let's see here. Buck's Basement, I'm going to try and cover Geeked Week. That's a pretty good week for me. I might react to some of the trailers. Oh, Brandon, I'm sorry to hear that you have a breakup, but I'm sure it's for the best, ultimately. And I'm glad we could lift your spirits. Jonathan says, hi, Grace. In Canada, we use a service called Crave as our HBO Max content. Do these third-party streamers count towards the Nielsen ratings? They do not. I don't believe that they do. And Degai Tai, I do plan on covering Penguin week to week, at least the start. We'll see how it goes. But I will be doing a breakdown of the first episode. Blair Rafe says, the early reviews for Joker 2 aren't looking so good. Do you think the film will be even more controversial than the first? Sadly, the biggest thing seems to be that it's boring and doesn't work, which I think is a little scary. You know, like not that it's bad or not that it's offensive, but that it's, you know, it just didn't work. Okay. Riley, I appreciate that, but I just don't have time to watch The Rings of Power. I'm sorry. As you can see, I'm trying very hard to stay on schedule as it is. Hey, Matthew, I hope you had a great day at work yourself. And Ben Trick, I got back on Threads because all of my pals in Brazil got kicked off of Twitter. So a lot of them seem to be going to Threads, although they went to Blue Sky, it seems. I'm just, you know, I thought that was the easiest place to post as well. All right, I better get going. I have a phone call at 4. So I have to go. I had a great time talking to you as always, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's live stream is going to be a breakdown of the Wicked trailer. All right? So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.